Morning, dear children. Today we are going to start lesson 3 in geography, the changing phase. As we all know, our earth is very old and it is not the same as it was billion years ago. The earth was formed some 4.6 billion years ago, and all over these years, the face of the earth has undergone tremendous changes. It is believed that some 180 million years ago, the Pangaea broke apart. The Pangaea was a supercontinent. Pangaea is shown in this picture, and it was a supercontinent. It broke up to form the present day continents. And Panthalassa, which was the single ocean surrounding the Pangaea, also divided to form the present day oceans. Do you know Alfred Wegener gave the continental drift theory in 1926. He said that the present day continents are formed due to the breaking up of Pangaea. The huge ocean surrounding the Pangaea was Panthalassa. And we all know the lithosphere. Our earth is made up of different plates and it is made up of continents and oceans. So continent This lithosphere has several large and some small, rigid, irregularly shaped plates. It carries continent and the ocean floor, as we have read in the previous chapters also. And continent and ocean floor, there are many plates, and these plates have moved apart over the years and are still moving. Earth's surface has never remained stable. So these plate movements cause changes on the surface of the earth. There are seven major tectonic plates: the Pacific plate, the Eurasian plate, the African plate, the North American plate, the South American plate, the Indo-Australian plate, and the Antarctic plate. So the forces which work inside the earth or on the surface of the earth, they lead to the movements and changes on earth's surface. So two forces are there which lead to the changes on earth's surface. These forces can be divided into endogenic forces and exogenic forces. Endogenic forces are the forces operating inside the earth. Example, earthquake and volcano. Exogenic means external forces. Exo means external. Genic means the genesis from where these are born. So external forces acting on Earth's surface are called exogenic forces. Example, weathering and erosion. The movement of plates leads to the formation of various landforms and also sinking of land surface. When the plates move, so because of this, many landforms are formed and many land surfaces sink also. These movements are very slow and are referred to as diastrophic forces. The process is called diastrophism, and the word diastrophism means twisting. Now we will see which landforms are formed by the forces. Mountains are built by two forces, folding and faulting. When the plates they collide with each other, they strike with each other, so the upfold or the top of the mountain is called, because of the collision of plates, folding takes place, and upfold or the top of the mountain is called the anticline, as is seen in this picture also, and downfold or the valley formed in between is called the syncline. This leads to rise of mountains. Some examples of such mountains are Himalayas in India, Rockies of North America, and the other form of movement is faulting. When two plates pull away or diverge from each other, the crust fractures. Often one block of land is lifted above another. This is called faulting. Uplifted block is called the horst or block mountain. Movements along a fault can be both horizontal and vertical. This movement can lead to formation of rift valleys. A rift valley is a linear valley formed between two mountains due to faulting. Best example is the Rift Valley of East Africa. There are some sudden movements inside the Earth's crust like earthquake and volcanoes, which cause sudden movements and have disastrous impact on the Earth's surface. What are earthquakes? Earthquake is the sudden and violent movement of the Earth's crust. It is called earthquake. Earthquake cause shaking of buildings, ruptures in walls, and sometimes cracks in the crust. They are caused due to movement of plates or eruption of volcanoes. We cannot predict the earthquakes, but some people believe that they can guess it with the animals' behavior, like fish in the ponds gets agitated, snakes come out on the surface of the earth. But scientifically we cannot prove these things. So we cannot predict earthquake. We can only take precautions to or take some measures to as prepare ourselves to we can take precautions how we can escape from this earthquakes. To measure the earthquake, the Richter magnitude scale is used. Richter magnitude scale helps to measure the intensity of an earthquake. It was developed by Charles Richter in 1935. In this picture, Richter scale is shown. So here it is. In this picture you can see when the two tectonic plates they collide or they diverge from each other, earthquake is caused. The point vertically earthquake originates from a point much below the earth's surface. It originates from focus, and the point vertically above the focus on the ground is called epicenter. The seismic waves. What are seismic waves? Waves of energy originating from the focus. Seismic waves originate from the epicenter, and study of earthquake is called seismology. People who study seismology are called seismologists. Earthquakes registered above 5.0 on the Richter scale are considered very intense. Such earthquakes can cause disasters. There are three types of earthquake waves: P waves or longitudinal waves, S waves or transverse waves, L waves or surface waves. Um, on 26 January 2001, when India was celebrating its 52nd Republic Day, the tremors shook northwestern part of India. An earthquake of magnitude of 7.6 hit the area of Bhuj, and earthquake killed many people. Its effect was felt till the capital city of New Delhi and many other parts of northern and central India. Impact was also felt in the neighboring countries of Pakistan and Afghanistan, but the cities of Gujarat got worst affected. And what is the result of earthquakes? Many buildings they collapse, as in this picture it is shown. So this earthquake caused many disasters, may become the cause of many disasters. Second endogenic force that becomes the cause of change on earth's surface is volcano. What is volcano? The sudden eruption of magma, ashes and gases from a vent on the earth's surface is called a volcano. Volcanoes are generally found on the plate margins. So the hot molten magma comes out in the form of lava from a vent. What is vent? A vent is an opening on the earth's surface. This word volcano came from a word Vulcan. It is the name of the god of fire in Roman mythology. There are three types of volcanoes, namely active volcano, dormant volcano and extinct volcano. Active volcanoes means that erupt frequently are called active volcanoes. At present there are supposed to be 50 active volcanoes. Most of them are located along the Pacific Ring of Fire. Dormant volcanoes are the volcanoes that erupted in the past but are now quiet. They might erupt in the future. Mount Vesuvius in Italy and Yellowstone volcano in Yellowstone National Park in the USA are examples of dormant volcano. Third kind of volcanoes are extinct volcanoes. Extinct volcanoes are those volcanoes that have not erupted in the past. Some examples are Judwal volcano in Netherlands and Edinburgh Castle in Scotland. Pacific Ring of Fire runs for 40,000 kilometers along the plate margins of Pacific Ocean and the continents, and most of the earthquakes and volcanoes occur at this place. This ring has some 450 volcanoes, out of which nearly 75% are active volcanoes. Japan is a country of volcanoes. Do you know that around 10% of active volcanoes of the world are located in Japan? Japan is located on the Circum-Pacific volcanic belt. The next forces are exogenic forces. Many forces act on the surface of the earth, which we are aware landscape. Two processes are which are responsible for this are weathering and erosion. Weathering is process of breaking up of rocks into smaller particles and decomposition of rocks. Erosion is a process of removal of topmost layer of soil and other particles from their place of origin by various agents like water, wind, and ice. These two processes, along with deposition, are responsible for the creation of various landforms. So, which landforms are formed? Next, we have fluvial features. Fluvial features are formed due to the action of rivers. Means because of the action of rivers, there are some changes on the earth's surface. So these features are waterfall, valleys, meanders, oxbow lake, and floodplains. Now, what is waterfall? Falling of river water from a great height is called waterfall. Many times the river water falls in steps forming rapids. How does this happen? How these waterfalls are formed? We have read that when these changes occurs in thousands of years. So when rivers flow down from the mountains, when the rivers flow down from the mountains, and in the way, suppose river is flowing here and this is hard rock and here the rock is soft. After thousands of years these rocks they change into stones, and stones change into fine particles of soil. So when rocks changes into stone and stone changes into soil, so here from the river cannot break the hard rocks easily, it can break the soft rocks. And here when the land become very loose, from here when land breaks down, the waterfall is formed here. Picture of a valley. Valley is an elongated lowland. Elongated means long lowland between two elevated areas is called a valley. A valley is formed due to erosional activity by the river. And in this picture, meanders are shown. What are meanders? Meanders are the loops formed by twist and turn by the river. These are the loops formed by twist and turn of the rivers. These are called meanders. Oxbow Lake. Due to Due to continuous erosion and deposition along the sides of the meander, the ends of the meander loop cut off from the river and form a cut-off lake called an oxbow lake. So when river flows down, here the flow of the river is fast, and here flow of river is because of the sediments, deposition of sediment, here the flow of river becomes slow. Here the river pressure is fast, water flow is fast, and here also the river flows fast. And here deposition of sediment, because of deposition of sediment river flow gets slow. So river has to turn along different twists and turns. So it is very difficult when, so because of going through from these loops, like this, the river starts flowing straight like this, and this piece is cut like this, and this is a lake is formed, and this is in the shape of ox bow. So this lake gets filled with water, and after some years this water also gets dried. This is the next is delta. When river enters the sea, its flow gets very slow because of the deposition of sediments. So river gets diverted into different channels like this. Right, the channel, it gets distributed into many channels which are called distributaries, and a triangle like shape is formed at the mouth of the river. This is called delta. Next feature is floodplains. Now what are floodplains? Suppose this is a river. When due to excessive rainfall, river gets filled with water, and here it is the surface of the earth. Here it is the surface of the earth, and uh, because of storage of water, the sediment starts coming out of the river. The light sediments, they go to far off places, and heavy sediments get deposited here on the surface. So these deposition of sediments forms the flood plains. Next feature is levees. The raised bank of the river is called levees. The next features are aeolian features. The aeolian features are formed due to the depositional work of winds. When the winds they blow, they become the cause of formation of different landforms. So these features are attrition, means blown particles are also worn round due to the impact of other particles. This is called attrition. Deflation, it means blowing away of rock particles by wind. As the wind slows down and loses its energy, it starts dropping its load of sand. Such hills of sand deposited by the wind are called sand dunes. We all know in desert areas, when the strong wind blows, the hills of loose sands are formed. These are called sand dunes. Loess. When fine sand particles are deposited over vast areas, they form loess. Birchen. Due to the deposition of particles, sometimes a crescent shaped dune is formed. This is called a birchen. Longitudinal dune. It is a linear accumulation of sand particles in the form of a ridge. Next are coastal features. Coastal features are formed by the action of sea waves on the sea coast and its rocky structures. Sea caves. The caves formed due to continuous erosion by waves on the rocks lying on the coast. So these sea cave is formed. Sea arcs. When the cavities get bigger, when these holes become bigger and only the roof of cave is left, sea arcs are formed. Stacks, when the wave erode the roof also, only wall-like structures are left, means only roofs are also vanished, only wall-like structure is left. This is called stack. Sea cliffs, the high, steep, rocky coast that rises vertically above sea water is called sea cliff. Next are glacier features. Glaciers are slow moving rivers of ice. Features that are formed due to erosion and deposition due to glaciers movements are called glacier features. Moraines. Moraines are the glacier deposits. Crevasses. The cracks formed on the upper part of glacier are called crevasses. Circus, a basin surrounded by steep-sided, blunt-headed peaks, which looks like an amphitheater, is called a cirque. It's a basin which is surrounded by steep-sided and blunt-headed peaks, and it looks like an amphitheater. Icebergs are the floating ice hills. So floating ice hills are called icebergs. So in this chapter we read about the changes which come on the surface of the earth due to endogenic and exogenic forces. So with this we conclude our chapter here. I hope you all have understood. Thank you.